Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning! Or afternoon if you're on the East Coast.
That's correct. Welcome to the 2016 ZBrush Sculpt-Off. We're your hosts, Joseph Drust and
Jessica Drew.
And we're here today in Noman in LA, and we have currently 12 wonderful contestants that are going to be battling it out inside a ZBrush for the winner, or for the chance to be the Sculpt-Off champion. And we're going to have two champions, one for hard surface and one for organic. And the winners of these get these crazy belts.
They get bragging rights. And also wrestling belts.
And this is an actual belt, so this isn't like the Halloween area of your local store. Like this is the real deal, and they're heavy.
They spared no expense.
And it's a little bit hot in here today, so we're going to sweat all inside of these all day, and then they're going to get them, and it's going to be us. Yeah. So our contestants today have 3 hours to compete in this competition from start to finish. And this is starting from a base mesh that we have decided, and then they go through the entire process to their final rendered image, which will be able to be voted on the Pixelogic website. And we will display that URL after the event happens. We're just going to go through our contestants here. So let's go here, and we're going to check these guys out. All right, so here's the view from our Sculpt-Off room here in Noman. And we start off, we want to thank our sponsors, Form Labs, which are giving away the grand prize for this, which is a Form 2 printer. We also have Keyshot, Wacom, Kotobukiya, Good Smile, Funko, and 3D Formatical. So we want to thank all our sponsors for contributing to this event and allow it to happen. And they're going to award our contestants here with some excellent prizes. So here's what our room looks like right now. It's a little bit hot up here today, and you can see all our contestants here, and they look a little bit too relaxed. What do you think, Jessica?
I think we should turn the heat up.
I think, yeah, that was part of the plan. We've also restricted the bathrooms to requiring a key.
Yes.
So if you see them start fidgeting, and a line may start forming in front of Jessica and I until we hand that key out. So.
This is true. They need to raise their hands. Bring me an apple. This is straight up classroom.
This is true. All right, so we're going to go to our board here, and we're going to start our countdown. Well, if I can get the graphics right here. We're good at this.
Total professionals.
Total professionals. We've done this before, I swear.
We have done this before, actually. It's good to see you again.
All right, so here's our prizes, once again, that the contestants are winning. They're battling for the belts, and we're going to count down our timer here, and we're going to start the competition. So you want to do the honors of the counting, and I'll press the button.
Do we want to go from like 3 or from 10?
I don't know.
Let's just do 3.
All right, 3 sounds good.
All right, guys, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go!
It has begun! So you've already down to 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 55 seconds. They already lost 5 seconds. I didn't see any. They weren't doing anything.
They need to up their click rate like competitive gamers.
This is correct. All right, so let's go to the organic side first here of our competition. So these are ordered this year. So at the stop here, we have at the first corner here in the upper right, we have Glauco.
Ooh.
Next to that, we have, let me find my cheat sheet here.
I have a cheat sheet.
That's right. We have Ara. Next to him, we have Lucas. Then we have Jared. Then we have, oh, we're totally messing this up. We're starting right. This is all just organic. So let's start this again.
I know. I was like,
number
these
2.
are not the names.
We're going to get this. It's going to be down pat in group 2.
Yeah.
So we got Glauco.
Mm-hmm.
And then following that up, we have Luis.
Luis.
Luis. Correct me. Yes. I told the contestants they could scream at me when I mispronounced the name.
You get to say this one.
We got Ehsan.
Oh, well, that's simpler than it looked.
We have Jesse Sanderfield. We have Laurent. And we have Chris Patterson. So those are our organic group right here. And now if we go to our second group here.
With our hard surface guys.
This is our hard surface guys. So at the top here, we've got Ara. And then next to that, we have Lucas Hug. Then we have Jared Krichevsky. We've got
Ioan. Wait, say it again.
John. Excellent. We've
That's
got
Welsh.
David Martinez and Mike Jensen.
Nice.
So those are our contestants this year. We'll try to pronounce their names throughout the entire event. This year we're going to try to focus more on the groups of total things here. So we're going to show a lot of all the organic guys, all the hard surface guys, and then we're also going to show individual groups of 2s. So pairing up. So you guys will always get to see primarily 2 guys sculpting at once during this event. And we're going to bounce back and forth through all of these as we go here. So we're going to go to our first set here of contestants. So let's just go ahead and throw those guys up here. So here we have Glauco and Ara. So the right side of the screen here is always going to be your organic, and the left side will always be your hard surface. So here we have Glauco on the organic side here, sculpting out.
It's really cool to see the difference in how they start off, right? So our organic guy is immediately into sculpting, and our hard surface guy is going into some primitive shapes and building that up and on.
Yeah, more mesh building and trying to keep those forms hard. The contestants had a set of base meshes, and they could submit their own, and we approved them. And they also had a set of brushes that they had to submit to be communal. So trying to even the playing field and make everybody start at like a specific starting area to start working on their models here.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Well, we didn't want it to be, too unfair, because IMM brushes are, you can pretty much store anything in those, and so you can take your finished model, store it in a brush, and then come in here and just drag it out and be done. So
And just spend the rest of the 3
just
hours
spend the rest
painting
of
it.
time or spinning in your chair, or whatever else. Go into the bathroom with our key. So that could be it.
It's air conditioned in there. I wouldn't blame them.
All right, so let's go to our next set here. And we're going to bring those in here. So here we have Luis and Lucas Hug.
Nice.
So once again, organic versus hard surface. We already got some masking going on with Luis here. And he's already describing a lot of forms on his model. So he's in there fleshing out a lot of those forms. And it looks like Lucas has gone the masking route, masking some different shapes. Possibly using some extract now, it looks like, down the bottom there.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, to pop out different silhouettes. So interesting technique. If you have any questions on any of the techniques that you witness inside the Sculpt-Off today, you can hit our Twitter feed for the ZBrush Summit. Just use hashtag ZBrush Summit. We have a staff of people that are answering these questions on Twitter. We also, if you're unfamiliar with it, I do a lot of the Ask ZBrush videos. So if you enjoy falling to sleep to my voice, you can always watch those as well. I think we're up to like 130 of these videos.
Where do you find the time for all that?
I don't know. I don't sleep.
Sleep.
What is sleep? All right, so now to the next set. We're going to set 2 here and bring those guys up. So here we have Ehsan. I'm going to need him to pronounce it here. He's going to yell at me soon. Yeah, there's a way to say the S, and I'm saying it incorrectly.
So it's not a sh, it's a
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
crap. We mean
Ehsan.
disrespect.
Ehsan. I'm going to have to yell at him soon. We'll get this corrected.
Yeah, we will
He's
get it
gonna,
right.
he's going to kill me afterwards. And then we have Jared. So Jared, again, is the hard surface contestant on this set here.
It's really cool to see how he's mapping out this like helmet structure using the
This is all
slice
panel
method.
loops. Yeah, slice. He's using the slice brush to come through and slice the model up and generate polygroups. And then I'm guessing he's going to go through and then use the panel loop functionality to break these out into all individual pieces. And then he can layer these and sculpt them and move them around. We've got some good tutorials on our Z Classroom on this process, so if you're curious about it. But it's really an interesting process to see. And Jared is very methodical in these techniques.
Very cool.
And then Ehsan, we have a gallery here at Gnomon as well for if you're here live, because you can stream this everywhere, but we also have the event live here at the Gnomon campus. And in the gallery, we have a lot of the artwork on display from these contestants as well. And there is a AR display as well. So if you have a phone, you could go and check out some of the models these guys have created inside of ZBrush and view them in 3D. So really interesting stuff. So not only are they contestants, they're also, some of them may have their first gallery show in the Gnomon gallery while they're here.
How freaking cool.
Exciting stuff. All right, so the next set here, this is set number 4. So we have Jesse Sandifer. Sandifer. I'm going to call him Sandifer all day. And John. That's correct.
Yeah. It's Welsh, so it's a complicated first name.
So once again, organic on the one side and hard surface on the left side there. And Jesse here is doing already some crazy stuff here to get his post-apocalyptic character generated. So the contest today is based around the theme of post-apocalypse. So things in wastelands, anything like that is what they can do here. Things have been deformed by certain environmental anomalies,
nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, nuclear holocaust. All
it
that
actually
fun
is
stuff.
really fitting considering that California is frequently on fire right now. That's why we cranked up the heat. This isn't an air conditioning malfunction. It's to get you in the mood.
That's right. Feel the burn.
That's right. We are committed to your artistic excellence.
That's right. So those are those two guys there. We already got some faces and heads coming across those. On to set 5 here. Let's go to those guys. Push those in. So we have Laurent and David Martinez. So man, Laurent's already on to wrinkles here for his creature here.
All right, so it's a good thing that I'm not voting because I work with Laurent and he is my favorite contender right now.
So you got favoritism in this.
I do, but I won't show it beyond saying Laurent.
But we may jump back and forth, and it's always gonna be, how about we go to this one? If I start seeing that
Why
trend.
don't we just go back to Laurent?
Go back to Laurent.
Nah.
And then we got David Martinez over here. He's already carving out some stuff as well, so figuring out his forms. And some of these guys have started from a sphere inside of ZBrush. So one of the powerful functionalities that ZBrush has is the ability to use our digital clay, which we call Dynamesh. And so you can come through here, and when you're sculpting on your model, you can pull out forms really far, and then simply just re-Dynamesh, and it'll repopulate or even out the topology of your model, keeping the sculptural details you already have. And that's going to allow you to evenly sculpt across the entire surface.
It's actually like the best way to rapidly sculpt like your silhouette, but not have to worry about your base mesh at all. It just gives you a lot of freedom of form, which is actually really exciting to see one of our hard surface guys using that method.
Yeah, it's definitely a popular technique. Now, David Martinez, we did give him, he had a request for a Mac keyboard, but we have not switched his command and control key. So if you see little window screens pop up when we're on him, that's why.
We had to give him a handicap. He's just that badass.
Give him a handicap. All right, so now we're on to Chris Patterson and Mike Jensen, and this is our final set here. So this is set number 6. And so Chris Patterson here he's already got a lot of form and stuff established out and going for kind of a
Mad Max.
Yeah, Mad Max or
I'm not saying it's Mad Max, but
007 Jaws type thing maybe. Could be. And then Mike Jensen here. I'm sure you guys have all probably watched his DVD for his mech stuff. So.
Oh, he even did a concept. That's really cool.
Yeah, so we gave these guys the topic for the Sculpt-Off a few weeks out. We allowed them to prepare and practice. So some of these guys, what you're seeing here, they may have sculpted this 3 times now. So the 4th time may not be as good. You never know.
They might get bored and decide to change horses like midway through.
So very interesting group here. So now let's go back to our main group here just to get a quick break on that so we can see everybody all at once here. So here is our organic group again.
Mhm.
All 6 of the organic ones for this. Later in the day at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we will be going to group 2, and we'll have another 12 contestants for the Sculpt-Off here. So another 6 hard surface and another 6 organic. So each of the groups, or rather each of the hard surface and organic are competing for the title. So there's a hard surface champion and an organic champion.
Yeah, because we wouldn't want to compare hard surface to organic
No.
because
It's 2 different beasts.
it really, really is. And it's 2 different skill sets, and it's really cool that you can do both now in ZBrush.
And it transforms back and forth.
Apparently, we need to talk louder.
Yes, we need to scream. And I don't know how to control that, so we're just going to start screaming. I have
Which one's us?
I think it might be this one. All right. If this starts killing your eardrums,
Tweet and
tweet
just be like,
and yell,
shut the heck
and
up.
we'll try to fix that. So and we're not going to display our technical difficulty screen right now. It's too late. All right, so let's bounce over to the hard surface guys here. So this is our 6 hard surface. And man, they're moving along.
Yeah, and all different techniques, actually. Like,
Yeah, it looks
got
like
one guy blocking in boxes.
Yeah, Ara's doing a lot of, looks like Z modeler here, using some creasing, things like that. We've got Lucas there. He's got that guy with the shield up at the top. We got Jared, who definitely was doing that panel loop time functionality, going through and describing those forms really quick and getting a nice ringed surface there.
Nice.
John has a, he looks like he's going in and now starting to do some polygrouping as well to start breaking out those forms for the hard areas. We got David Martinez going in and carving his structures out. And then Mike Jensen there doing his familiar mechanical sculptings. All right, so what should we go now, Jessica? I'm going to let you pick here. Since we can see all the screens here, you guys are limited to only seeing 6 at a time or 2 at a time.
Yeah,
But we get
have
the luxury of
ultimate
seeing
God
everything.
view.
We can go to the cameras here too in a minute, and you can see what it looks like while they're working. But who do you want to switch to? What's
Well,
set we got here?
I
We can
say
just go
let-
through the sets again if you want to do that.
I think right now, because it's such drastic changes that are going to be made,
just keep in
keep on the
large,
6
yeah.
overview,
Yeah.
so people can kind of like take advantage of everybody's initial approach to
Yeah,
sculptures.
see how they start
Because
out on these.
everybody's doing something different, and I wouldn't want to play favorites at this stage.
No, and then we're just going to switch to Laurent for the rest
No,
of the
I
video.
promise we won't. I promise.
So here we got more of our hard surface guys here. Yeah, so you can see the panel loops are getting cut in down at the bottom there as
Nice.
well. All right, let's pop over to organic here,
Mhm.
and we'll switch back. So here we go back to our organic guys.
It seems like they're all spending a lot of time on the faces, and as far as like a successful art piece, like really concentrating on the humanity of your character so people are drawn in, it makes sense. Like,
It's a very good point. We
spend
also,
your time where it counts.
and we did restrict it to a bust for this competition as well. So we will not have full characters. They could do a full character, but the
If
the
they're crazy
requirement
pants.
requirement is a bust. So definitely focusing on those human elements, as you suggested, is a
It's really
excellent
cool.
way to put it.
I just really dig the silhouette changes that they're all making and working on right now. And in our bottom right-hand corner, he's even doing some hard surface elements to his character, it seems.
Yeah. Chris Patterson's adding the all mask stuff there for his.
Nice.
So using some of that Z modeler and the different brushes through there. We got some crazy spikes going on here from Glauco up at the top.
What's the apocalypse without basically a
This
demon
is right.
crown?
This is true.
Like, this is the reason the apocalypse happened.
Jesse's doing a lot of masking down the bottom there. He's making some eyes. We got some eyes coming in here.
But doing the eyes proper with, like, the
yeah,
whole cornea.
yeah,
and
all that. I wouldn't have done that.
so nice. No, I am a fan of spheres. And then the, actually, I really like taking the sphere and then carving in for the iris and the pupil. You end
More
up
the
getting.
clay stuff.
Yeah.
You've been doing some clay sculpting recently.
Been doing a lot of clay
Yeah, I saw
sculpting.
some of your wet sculpting.
Well, like I do digital all day long, that it's really nice to have your hands directly on something.
And fingers covered in wet clay or plasticine
Completely covered.
don't work on keyboards. It's not.
Actually, my
not very good.
phone is currently
Is
covered
it?
in
Is it
clay
covered?
still. Yeah. That's actually a nice benefit to ZBrush, is it doesn't get everything dirty.
Sometimes. It depends how many Doritos and chips you eat while you're ZBrushing, because then it's just crazy.
All right, so you're a snack sculptor. Got it.
Slob is how. the
Also
correct
known
term
as
is.
gross.
Yes. All right, let's hop back to the hard surface here. Oh man, what we got going up top? Lucas is doing some craziness. He's carving into stuff here.
Oh, right on.
Once
Well,
again,
do you want to take a closer look at our going through by pairs all the way
yes,
through?
we will do that here in a second. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So once again, the ZBrush Sculpt-Off for 2016 is sponsored by Form Labs. And they're giving away the Form 2 here to our winners of each category.
I'm going to be so jealous of those winners.
This is true. The Form 2 is an excellent machine. I've used it quite a bit. It works very well.
Very nice.
I like it. We also have Keyshot as one of our sponsors, along with Wacom. And Kotobukiya, Good Smile, Funko, and 3D for Medical. They all have donated prizes for our contestants here today.
Because they're excellent, excellent companies
This is correct.
that care about artists.
And if we go back to our feed here, let's do that quick here. And if we look behind us, like here's some of the prizes of donuts. This is the Form 2 right here. This is an excellent machine. I have one, and I am out of resin right now, so if you want to donate resin, I'm always happy.
Only if you print up another really excellent helmet.
This is correct. I ran out of time. I didn't get a helmet this year. We have Kotobukiya donating these items here as well, and then these are really cool from Funko. These are like the prototypes for a lot of their things, and the contestants are going to be some of the winners of that are going to be taking home those. So very nice. Give that back.
Yeah. No, I mean I will give this to our contestant who wins.
All right,
Yeah,
so let's go back to our groups here. Switch those in. So here we have our group 1. Once again, this is an organic contestant on the left side and a hard surface contestant on the right side. So we have Glauco and Ara.
Well, we can maybe tell you a little bit about
Yeah,
Glauco.
why don't we do that?
So he is one of the senior character artists at Naughty Dog, and they just finished up Uncharted 4. So he's basically a badass. Actually, we've got a room full of badasses, so it's going to
We do have
get
a room full of badasses.
redundant
it's
to
pretty
say
crazy.
so, but we really appreciate everybody here.
He's at Sony too, by the way.
Wait,
Yeah.
did he just leave?
He's a God of War guy now.
But Uncharted's so much fun. Well, now he's at Sony, probably bringing his badass over there.
That is right. That is
Good Lord,
correct.
Sony's lucky to have him.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Ara, who's a concept designer, and he does a lot of like futuristic designs.
Yeah, if
So
you've ever
I've-
seen the Nothing for Mech books, he's got stuff in there as well.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah, so you'll see some of his artwork in there.
I wonder how much of that futurism he's going to bring to
This
this
is
post-apocalyptic.
why I think he's going with his creations here. So he's going to bring some sort of his style that he already kind of does. He was one of the few here that are back from our Sculpt-Off last year, and last year he did this crazy lion sculpt that was all done with a lot of
remember
Z-Miler
that,
and Ray
yeah.
mesh. It was very nicely done. So he's back here battling it out this year.
Right on. And this is about as close as you can get to like poly modeling in ZBrush, which gives you a heck ton of control.
Yes, it's our own version of the poly modeling system, and a lot of things we play on this are for the, we have dynamic subdivisions, and you can use creasing to your advantage, the poly grouping, and all sorts of different aspects with the Z-Modeler brush to flesh out your forms. I personally, since we've started developing this and then released it, it's been a while since I've opened another application to do poly modeling. I've been primarily all in this.
So ZBrush fills every need for you.
It does for me. So
That's really cool.
but it's really, I like the functionality a lot, and then you can always use the Z-Modeler functionality with anything else. So you can convert to a Dynamesh, you can use the group loop function, you can pretty much, your endless possibilities. So it works well with all the other features that are already existing inside of ZBrush.
Totally. I can see why a hard surface modeler would favor it.
Yes. So let's go to set 2 now. And here we have Luis and Lucas.
So Lucas is on our left.
So it looks
Luis?
like Luis here is going to...
Wait, Luis is on the left.
Yep, Luis
Yep.
is on the left, so he's our organic, and Lucas is our hard surface for this group here. And Luis may be finishing up pretty soon here. He's looking pretty far ahead. He may be decided the heat was too much in this room today, and just going to finish it up early, go chill in the nice LA air and watch the fires burn.
Yep. Getting it. But Luis is coming from Industrial Light and Magic. Ooh, he worked on Jurassic World. He worked on Warcraft. Hey, we appreciate the work you did.
Another fan.
I like it. And then we have Lucas, Hug, because we've got another Lucas later on. And this one, studied applied arts and graphic design, and is super into video games and making them, actually. So he's been in the industry for like 9 years.
Yeah, we've had him as a beta tester before for our software.
Oh, yeah?
So he was one of our beta testers for 4R7. So it's nice to finally meet him. I see all the artwork and talk to a lot of these guys often, but I never meet him in person, so it's nice to have
that's
him out.
true. Like, the whole community, the ZBrush and digital art community, is really tight-knit on the internet, but we don't ever see each other face-to-face.
No, it's because we're all eating Doritos and being slobs.
Except at the ZBrush Summit. What a great opportunity.
It's the meeting place. And once again, if you're streaming this and you're local to Los Angeles, the Summit is a free event. So if you're, it's going to be coming across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so come on out. And then if you just want to stay at home and hang out, you can do that as well, because we're going to be streaming all this, so stay tuned.
But the event itself is already looking really, really amazing. We've got so many good speakers coming in.
Yes, so many. And so I'm going to miss them today. Tomorrow we'll get to watch them. So we got our 2 groups today. And a reminder for this is group 1. So we have 12 contestants battling it off for the ZBrush Sculpt-Off 2016. The topic is post-apocalypse. And we have 12 hard surface and 12 organic. Group 2 will be up next at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and we have our current champions will be in that group, which is Furio and Eric. So it's going to be good times, the next group as well. So let's go to our next set here. So we have set number 3. Here we have Ehsan and Jared Krichevsky. Wow, Jared's really getting in there with this stuff.
So
he's got some really crazy small lines in there going on.
I like that he's split off all the different poly groups, but is not splitting them off as separate elements, so that way he can still manipulate the overall form and then just like tear it to pieces. I cannot wait until the moment he shatters that mesh and like starts pulling in elements.
Yeah. So what we got about we're gonna ask if Ehsan's too. Hope we're not probably mangling his name. What we got on him?
Well, so he's a 3D freelancer here in LA, and he's got a huge traditional background, actually, like painting, sculpting. We'd be friends, totally. And no, he's just really like a well-rounded artist. So I'm really excited, actually, to see like people with a heavy traditional background coming into ZBrush and really excelling. Like, you can already tell how much like anatomy knowledge he's got, and his approach to his characters is very, very traditional. Exactly. I love it.
And that's one thing that ZBrush has allowed a lot of the traditional artists to do, is bridge that gap between their clay background and the digital form. So inside our software, you're not really concerned about polygons or vertices. You just can take a ball of our digital clay and just start sculpting, and allow you to pull these forms out and generate your shapes as you would traditionally. We also have the benefits of, say, symmetry. Which
oh my goodness, symmetry is such... Oh, and also being able to zoom in to get those fine, tiny details.
Fine details, change your brush sizes, not have clay all over the place.
Yeah, super good. And I didn't tell you anything about Jared, but he is a character creature supervisor over at the Aaron Sims company. And he's done all sorts of stuff. He teaches ZBrush here at Noman.
He teaches here at Noman.
God,
he's done a lot of the Ninja Turtle stuff as well.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so... Those
are some really complicated characters.
They were really
complicated. He worked on Independence Day.
He did.
He's my hero.
And you see his technique's really cool too, like just the layering the stuff up and moving it around. So you can see he's got a lot of sub-tools going on here versus Ehsan here, who's still like, just doing that more kind of clay background where we're just adding and building up our forms slowly and strongly on our meshes.
Well, I really feel like they're prime examples of an organic approach and a hard surface approach. Like, hard surface is all about like sub-tools, different meshes, layering, really. And as far as like costume design, the secret to making a costume or something on a character,
you've got a lot of experience on this.
Yes, I make a lot of costumes, but like the secret to that is layers. It adds a level of complexity and visual interest, and it also gives you like overall details and then secondary details, secondary and tertiary
It's all about
forms.
Those transitions between the two shapes. It's excellent. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Really cool stuff. All right, so on now to set 4 here. So we have Jesse Sandifer and
John.
All
right, Jesse. Let me pull up his info.
Jesse's been another one that's big in the tutorial community for stuff for a while. So you've probably at some point seen one of his videos as well.
Oh, really cool. So he just moved out here to Los Angeles to come to Blur?
I believe so, yes.
Dang. Blur is a wonderful studio. They are constantly creating amazing stuff. Well, it says working at Blur?
We have cheat sheets here for
Yeah, we do.
information on
Oh, he left Blur recently. God, I'm gonna do this all the time.
we got to read from bottom to top.
But now he's
We're gonna get this right.
doing that whole indie game developer thing over at White Moon Dreams.
Excellent.
Oh, he's working in VR. I bet you he's gonna love the gallery that we have here.
Yeah, we've got an AR gallery here showing all the stuff. So he's probably already contributed stuff. His model was probably set up correct to be viewed.
Like
required
no technical difficulties.
Processing. Yeah, just went right in. So really cool design there.
No, right on. And John he was an architect.
Wow.
Like a legit hardcore architect.
So you can see, even if you're an architect, you can transition into ZBrush. Look at this.
Dang, so many skills, so many backgrounds.
And he's blocking out all his forms here for his body here. He's really going into the process here.
Well, his job is actually as a freelance concept designer. So he works with like Weta, Disney, Paramount, basically everyone awesome. I can't wait to pick his brain after this event is over.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what these guys
really
are going to
cool.
end up creating. All right, on to now set number 5 here. So let's get these guys here. Here we have Laurent and David Martinez.
Oh, right on.
So Laurent's still working those forms and shapes on his model there. So doing a lot of the sculpting stuff going in with the different brushes. One thing that's interesting when you watch these guys sculpt is they don't often use like tons and tons of brushes. And this kind of goes back to like a traditional background as well. Like maybe 5 brushes they'll end up using for the entire time they're sculpting.
Well, especially if you're doing like a lot of freeform stuff, you're defining the shape. You're not specifically trying to do a thing. Like when I use or make a new brush, it's because I have a specific problem I'm trying to solve in my sculpture.
Or the brush broke.
Well, that too. That doesn't happen nearly as often for me. What are you doing to your ZBrush?
No, I was talking more traditional. No, I've probably broken brushes though too.
Messed up that alpha map.
Yes, this is correct.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh, we've got Louis Tucci here now coming in the studio. Hey, we're gonna switch the feed here. Let's see if I can figure this out, and we'll go to a overview, and we can get Louis to walk around the room here and show you guys this stuff. So let's pull that up here, and then we'll get back to our groups here. All right, Louis, you got cameras. You got cameras in the corner.
Cameras all over.
We're probably not gonna be able to hear you unless you scream, but we may pick you up. Wow. So here's Louis Tucci, everybody. He's walking around our event here. This is what the Sculpt-Off room looks like currently. We're going to try to tell him not to bug the contestants here, but it's Louis, so you can't.
He's going to
really
give them encouragement and support.
Yep.
High fives and back rubs.
He's got a bottle of OJ. Is that correct?
A bottle of grapefruit juice is good for the prostate.
I don't think he had that bottle in his pants, though. I think we're okay. We're okay.
It wouldn't be good for the prostate if it was in his pants.
No.
You know, I just came in from the peninsula of Portugal, and the belt is on the line. I see that. Did you
Yes.
know the feud I had going with Mr. Concept Art?
Really?
We did see some of that.
We had a one-on-one with the great one. We became best friends before it was said and done. I am the only person who's ever gone to the future with him.
So Louis talking about his escapades with Mr. Concept Art.
I've seen the postcards. What do we got going on here? Tell us. We got a
Well, first I want to tell you what you're doing next. So Louis will be doing our interviews after our presentation, so you'll see him in the hot seat.
That's right.
Asking the hard questions.
Asking the hard questions, that's right, with all our presenters.
The hard surface questions.
That's right. Behind the lace, inside the, well, never mind.
So if you're tuning in to those, after each one of those presentations, you'll be taken into the room with Louis and get an inside view on the artists that we have coming out here.
What I want to know right now is give me a recap of what's going on. We just started off here inside the Sculpt-Off. What do we got? Who are we dealing with?
Well, we hit the ground running. Honest.
Yeah, we did. We found here. We can get you in the camera here. We can pull you in here.
Oh yeah, come join us.
Let's see if I can get that in here. And we'll make you be me now. We'll try this.
I don't want to steal too much of the time.
Oh, you're already stealing our time.
I just want to come here and sort of rattle the cage, as they say.
Rattle the cage. There we go. There we go. So we got Louis.
Again, people at home and around the world live from the...
And we don't know if you can hear Louis because we got mics and we didn't give Louis a mic. He's just
face.
screaming. It's loud. He's loud.
So who do we got here? Who are the contestants?
So, to start off, this is the, we can bring it up again. This is the ZBrush 2016 Sculpt-Off. We've got 2 hours and 30 minutes left for this, and the belt is online. If you want to show that belt here. These are the
people at home.
This is the real belt here, the real deal. Heavy.
Wow, look at that, Jessica. That's a serious.
It's bigger than me.
It is.
Wow.
This is not your Halloween prop.
No,
This is
serious-
this is the
serious.
serious
How can I compete with this
contender.
thing? Do I need to train for next year?
Well, we'd have to
I-
let you in.
They'd have to let me right on like the
Yeah,
right
you have to
Yeah,
pass a
that's
background
right,
check.
that's right.
Well, I'm never going to pass one of those. Here we go. Are they doing drug tests these days? I'm on every point.
I don't think that would work for artists. Like,
So let's so we can go through our groups here real quick for you as soon as I figure how
Can
to
the fans
to
send in
work
some-
this.
Can the fans send in their commentary?
Oh yeah, so everybody can message us on Twitter using the hashtag ZBrush Summit.
ZBrush Summit is the magic hashtag. So if
Yep.
you want to yell at Louis too, just you can use that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just yell it up.
So who we got? I know some familiar faces here. We got Jared. the Killer
Yeah,
Krichevsky.
so let's go through our groups here
Jared,
again.
the Killer Krichevsky
So
from,
we'll go. Do you want to go through our?
Yeah, give me a rundown.
Yeah, so let's go through our organic guys here first. We'll do those.
All right.
This is the organic, and there's a hard surface room.
Yes, we
Yep.
have two. This is both.
And we brought
got
in
6 and
12
6, Lou.
total,
6 and
so we've
6.
got 6 and 6. Yeah.
All right, so we are organic here. From the top left, we have Glauco.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Luis,
we have Luis next in the middle. Then we have
Ehsan,
Ehsan. And then below that, we have Jesse Sandifer.
Absolutely, the one and only.
Yep, we got Laurent
Okay.
from Jessica's studio.
yep.
And then we have Chris Patterson.
Wait a minute. From Jessica's studio, I smell it.
We've already been talking about
See,
this.
but I
We've already
can't
talked about
influence
this.
the voters because
Yeah.
these will be posted later online with no names attached,
This is correct.
Okay.
and everybody's going to be voting on those.
That's
Keeping
correct.
a close watch on her so she isn't going sort of Shanghai. These guys.
I'm trying. You know,
I
you
haven't
can't.
been focusing the feed entirely on Laurent. I mean, I am biased. I acknowledge my
You're
bias.
not cheering in the back. Laurent.
If it would help him, I would, but I'm pretty certain that he has
I-
headphones
we
on
might
and some
disqualify
music.
him. Yeah.
That's
Alright.
a whole other dynamic, right, G.I. Joe?
That's correct. So here we have Ara in the top left. Yeah. In the middle top, we got Lucas Hug. Then we have Jared Krichevsky.
The dude going up against
Then we
Jared,
have
Killer Krichevsky.
John,
John.
because
Then-
we're going to butcher the real
Yeah.
Welsh pronunciation.
This is correct.
What's
Then
John? What was his last name? His Welsh.
Dumitrescu.
Whoa, Dumitrescu. Here we go. I'm not
Dumitrescu.
going to even try to say that one.
Then we have David Martinez in the bottom middle and Mike Jensen in the bottom right.
Mike Jensen, a heavyweight in his own right. The heavyweights are all here.
They are. They're all
Those
here.
for
Heavyweight
reals.
class, man, I'm going to leave. I'm in the sort of featherweight class.
Is this making you sweat, seeing all this
Not-
talent
Or
in
is
one
it-
room?
I-
Or is
I
it
don't-
just the lack of air conditioning?
It's just the leather jacket's making me sweat right now. But, you know, what I have to say is that it's really an honor to be in the same situation, or the same space as all these really talented heavyweights. This is a collection of artists like no other. Now, is this the only group that's going to be going head-to-head here?
No, we have the second group, which will be following up, and that starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah,
so
I
they'll
got
be
my
up
money
next.
on a certain gentleman in that group.
Yeah, we have our two current champions in that group. We have Furio and Eric Sosa.
So Tedeschi and
Right
Sosa
on.
making a return
This is
afternoon
correct.
in the same
At
place
4
at the
p.m.
same time. And
Yeah.
Pacific
guys,
time. Don't miss it. Don't miss
guys,
it.
You're telling me that, just one more time here, G.I. Joe. You're telling me that, Jessica, let's show the people at home.
You think it's a
The
fast
hardware's on
process
the
here.
line.
It's more than bragging rights.
The
It's a
hardware
legit
on the-
belt.
Can you imagine
Heavyweight
walking into Canadian
contender.
Customs with this thing? You know, for those guys up in Montreal. Can
Oh,
you
snap.
imagine?
People had to fly in for
They did
this.
fly in.
Right? They got to fly in for this thing. The people. Can you
Yeah,
imagine the
you're going to
voice
want to
of this?
check this.
That's
What are
right.
those guys
Yeah.
called again? The
And Border Patrol,
TSA. You
TSA,
mentioned
yeah,
What's
yeah.
your nature of your business, Mr. Tucci? Well, I was just gonna. Never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Once again, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. So Form Labs is one of our sponsors here. They're giving away this excellent Form 2 printer right here. Bye-bye, Louis. You can check Louis once again at the hot room, the green screen hanger. So check out those presentations. So Form Labs is one of our presenters here. So they're giving away the Form 2. We also have our sponsors of Keyshot, which are all the contestants here in the Sculpt-Off have access to the ZBrush to Keyshot Bridge and Keyshot Pro. So they're going to be able to send their models over to Keyshot using the ZBrush to Keyshot Bridge to render things out if they want.
Super cool.
Wacom is also one of our sponsors here. We have
And everyone is using
everyone. We have all our tablets here, and Cintiqs are supplied through Wacom. So thank those
spared
guys.
no expense.
We also have Kotobukiya, which has generated some excellent prizes here as well. And some of these were actually sculpted by Eric Sosa, our current
Oh,
Sculpt-Off champion. So this model here is actually
What
an
if he
Eric
won his
Sosa
own
winner.
s-
That would be kind of odd. I wonder what he'd think about that. We may be able to trade that out. We'll see. Also, Good Smile and Funko and 3D for Medical are our other sponsors. All right, so let's go back to our...
So we left off at Laurent.
We did, so we got to go find Laurent here, and then we're going to go back to that. As Louis just came in and just... He always steals the
Hijacked
show. He
the
definitely
feed.
steals the show here. So let's see if this is correct. I'm going to try getting this here. So we have Jesse and...
Oh, we saw them.
We saw them, so let's move on to the next set. We don't want to... Try not to play favoritism here. So,
No.
okay.
So we already
Laurent.
talked about Laurent.
Okay.
And then we have our other
So set
contender.
6 is where we stopped here.
David.
So, so we have Chris Patterson and Mike Jensen.
Right on.
And this is our last group here.
Oh, yeah. So have we told you anything about Chris or Mike yet?
We have not. We
well,
have
so
not.
Mike's a character artist in the video game industry. He even makes training DVDs, so...
We have a lot of that.
He's
We
kind
find
of a
out
badass.
one of the good things about ZBrush is that a lot of our users love sharing their techniques and how they do things. And it's very open, so I haven't ran into anyone that's hoarding techniques. They're
No,
always
not
usually
at
willing
all.
to share. Willing to share.
Well, the
And
whole
especially all these
industry-
guys too. Yeah. It's
The
very
whole
nice.
industry isn't about secrets anymore. It's about just creating really, really amazing art. And I think it really enables artists versus enabling technical skill.
Exactly, exactly. And my opinion on that is it only benefits the
Yep.
art community and it helps your art grow. So there's no point in holding things in because you're going to get inspiration from anywhere. We also have if you're looking for information on ZBrush and its usage, you can go to our forums, which is zbrushcentral.com. And we have amazing artworks from all our community that come and post, and it's daily they post the stuff, and there's amazing works that get posted on there.
Yeah, check out the top row. You'll see
Yes,
some of like the
excellent,
best
excellent
user
stuff.
voted or featured art.
That's correct. We also have a whole series of free tutorials through our Z Classroom. We've also started doing podcasts.
Oh,
And
nice.
we have launched our Twitch channel as well, which if you may, for this live stream event here, you can also be watching it through Twitch currently. I don't know if the Sculpt-Off's on there, but I know all our presentations will be going on our Twitch channel
Smart.
as well. Yep. So
Very
you can
smart.
tune in there and see that. There's also a large community of artists that have been doing a lot of the creative zone for Twitch as well, or not Twitch, Twitch.
Yeah,
Not Twitter. I'm getting my T's confused.
it's a lot of T's
Yeah,
and
so we
social
have a lot
media.
of artists that will be on there, and they broadcast themselves sculpting on a weekly basis. So a lot of avenues for you to find out about ZBrush, ask people questions who are using ZBrush to get you in and using the program and just creating art, which is the end
Which is
goal.
absolutely the goal. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about Chris, who is our final person to talk about for this competition.
Well, did we get Mike? Did we hit Mike up too?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah,
Okay.
I told you
we're
about
good.
Mike.
We're good.
Making me double check all my Thanks,
It was
man.
a trick. Connects.
But yeah, Chris, he's
That's
a...
appropriate because Army of Darkness poster is behind me right now.
You just want a chainsaw arm.
That's what I do.
I wonder how well you could sculpt. You could ice sculpt with a chainsaw arm. That would be
Or wood.
your only
Or
option.
wood.
But Chris is a digital sculptor who he's just a digital sculpture
Just
sculpting
like that's
right
just
now.
like nothing now.
But he works in pop culture with like the statues and collectibles, and he's up in Seattle doing freelance. But he works for like pop culture shock
Excellent,
collectible.
excellent.
Yeah,
So you can see a really wide
Funko.
range of contestants here, and just the different industries they all work in is really interesting.
well, and it's also they're bringing like a wealth of backgrounds and variety of approach and all of that. It's like video games, film, collectibles.
Yeah.
You can use ZBrush for just about anything that requires you to digitally sculpt. a
Yeah, and
thing.
with 3D printing too, it's been opening a lot of stuff. For a lot
Oh
of
man.
people. It's very, very interesting stuff. All right, let's go to the board. To the board.
This is all our organic sculptors. Oh, we have... All right, let's talk about these sculptures that we're seeing because I'm excited with what we have on screen right now is really freaking cool. Like top left, super demon lord, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's
Louis
definitely
ate
in
too much of our
charge.
time. You guys missed too much. I'm gonna blame Louis.
Yep, blame it all on Louis. But not on Luis, who's
Not on
making kind of
Louis,
like
no.
the whole Total Recall. Wait, what was the movie with like the small baby head that was inside the guy's stomach?
Master Blaster? You talking about Master
Yeah.
Blaster?
Yes, I am.
Mm.
He's got kind of like a Master Blaster
He
vibe going
does,
on with
he
his.
does.
It's like, oh look, I named and gave my strange growth
It is.
eyeballs.
It is post-apocalypse.
No, exactly.
Post-apocalypse.
It's
Definitely.
obviously a radioactive future in his
This
world.
is. That's a very interesting design there for that.
going to be really cool to see how he blends the two together. Because
Yeah.
they're two different subtools, but like how he's going to make them work together as a total sculpt is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know. He's probably going to keep it as a separate. I don't know. 'cause
course.
Inside ZBrush, you can always merge things together and re-dynamesh them, and it will fuse those
But then
two
he'd
models
lose
together.
his ability to work on them separately.
Yes, and hide them and change the subtools and all sorts of things. So lots of different flexibility and lots of different workflows in through here. Wow, these have really just stepped up
Yeah.
since we last saw them.
And we have Ehsan bringing in like the bony masses up in the eye
Yes,
socket.
very-
Some
very
really cool stuff.
Bringing in that traditional sculptural background into his work there.
So cool.
Then Jesse down at the bottom left.
He's going full mutant for
he
his
is
character.
full mutant. He's already got like
But urban
goggles
mutant.
and visors and all sorts of stuff.
No, I love it.
And we're at this point, we're not even an hour in, and this is where they're at. Isn't that
You guys really
insane?
brought together some of the best sculptors in the industry. Like,
Like just the amount of speed that's here too. Like,
for reals.
I mean, maybe we should have only given him like an hour. What do you think? 3 hours sounds like it was too long.
Oh, man. I don't.
They probably don't want to tell their bosses they can do this in like
That
3 hours.
is
That's
a
probably gonna
very
be the more
fair
issue.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
oh, so you
Like-
can create a brand new character in an hour?
3 hours?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're going to need that on a daily basis at work.
why don't you do this at work that fast?
That's called art directors.
Art managers.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
everywhere. All right, so let's go over to the hard surface group.
All right, definitely a robot top left, and definitely a exoskeleton suit on the top right. These are just some really, really cool designs. Like, it's definitely going more on the tech side of the post-apocalyptic.
Yes.
So maybe a little bit more like Elysium
Yep,
style.
Elysium with Terminator's another one too. I
Oh,
mean, there's all
yeah.
sorts of post-apocalyptic
So much
themes.
inspiration.
And we left it open to them so they
Yeah.
could use it and create what they want and still bring their artistic standpoint to it. We also asked for the contestants as well that they don't bring up anyone that's already been established. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't just remake Mad Max.
Original
or-
characters.
Yeah. Because we
Yeah.
want to see their creativity and show what the program can do and how they use it. So it's really fun stuff.
Also, we don't want copyright infringement issues.
This is true.
But I think every artist really wants to create something that's out of their own brain. Like,
This is
that's
true.
way
Mhm,
more
mhm,
satisfying.
mhm. There is something though with matching things too, getting that thing picture perfect and
Oh, yeah?
getting it down to the. It's an exact clone, and I replicated it. It's a sickness, I think it is.
The level of care and attention to detail that you have to take to get like a perfect likeness. I've tried likenesses.
it's tough, yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
And also, like, in any given movie, you're only given so many views of maybe a character or
That's
a costume.
right. And then you got perspective changes
Oh, yeah.
and focal lengths and all sorts of
Yeah,
else.
so you kind of have to like really artistically figure out what really is going on.
So you want to go back to the sets now and do that?
Heck yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's zoom in a little closer here since we're going to do our main groups here. Go back to our group 1 here. So here we have Glauco and Ara. So once again, we have the organic on the left side and hard surface on the right.
Nice. We've
This
got
is our
some
first set here.
definitely robot. The only thing that's reminiscent of anything else is the really skinny head, kind of Clone Wars style. But I'm really excited to see what his robot design is going to be,
Chappie.
especially since
Chappie
he started.
too could also, yeah,
Oh,
it's got a
you're
little bit of
right.
Chappie in it. Yeah.
I just went and saw Diane Ward in concert. the
I
other
saw
week.
them and when they were out in North Carolina too,
Heck
so
yeah.
I've seen them.
They're so good. But yeah, post-apocalyptic robots.
I was planning on making a Chappie costume and then wearing it to the show, but time did not.
That
was
would
not
be an
nice to me.
insane.
Because it was
amount of
right
work.
after the movie came out too, so when I saw him in show.
Man, missed opportunity.
It was a missed
Why
opportunity.
can't
I
you
could have got
just
camera time.
Your priorities are all screwed
That's
up.
right. That's right.
Got to
Family,
prioritize that
work.
cosplay.
Yeah. I need to step it up. So you've been doing, as we're watching these guys here, I want to, the one thing that you do a lot of costuming, and the one that really, really impressed me was you had your mom dressed up, and it was amazing.
So my mom doesn't do costumes at all. In fact, like, we didn't get to celebrate Halloween growing up. So the fact that I turned into like this crazy video game costume person
Mhm.
later in life is definitely a surprise. But my mom, she was turning 62 And I was like, hey, I have a surprise for you. She didn't even know what I had planned. I'd already booked like a photographer to come out and then made most of the costume that I could figure out without asking for her measurements. And then the day of, I made the rest of her costume.
It's really cool. You can follow Jessica on Instagram. You can go check out the images. She posts stuff all the time. So
I post stuff a lot. I try to vary it up between like costumes, photo shoots,
and drowning. I call them drowning photography.
Oh man, it is. It's close to drowning. I do a lot of like underwater stuff because like the summer is the best season for that. Going underwater, freezing your butt off.
No one wants to go in 30 degrees.
I've done it though.
Oh.
I've been in like 50-degree water, open ocean, cenotes down in Mexico.
Wow.
Like
it's impressive that, and you're asking me where I find the time. I'm always like, where are you finding the time?
My day job is at a desk with headphones on, and my weekends are very, very active. I think it's a good balance.
It is a good balance. All right, so let's go on to set 2 now. We've been hanging out at the first guys here, and then we'll go back to our chit-chatting. So here we got Luis and Lucas.
Oh, he's already spending a bunch of time making the teeth like asymmetrical and interesting.
Another industry ZBrush is used for.
It's for dental?
Dental, yeah. We have a lot of people using it for dental, yeah. For reconstructing jaws and things is another thing.
That
and
is
especially like if you have
amazing.
to get a tooth clone, so you can dental scan a tooth, and then put it in ZBrush and bring it in and simply do a mirror and weld, and you've got the opposite tooth.
It's like, I really like my left canine. Can you
Yes,
help
can you-
out
can
my
you
right
give me your
canine?
right canine? Yeah. It has happened.
I just,
And dental scanners are crazy now too. Like the dentist I go to, he has one, and it's like an X-ray scan. So you sit there, you put your head in this thing, and you stand up while you do it, and it spins around.
I've done
and
that.
it dumps out all the 3D data.
That's how we discovered that I had only one wisdom tooth.
Wow. I was told I had no wisdom tooth.
High five,
teeth.
we're mutants.
No, and then it came back.
Oh,
So it was delayed wisdom teeth. So the brains, I guess,
that's how
follow
you
along
have
with
such
that.
your youthful appearance.
That's right. I'm
Is
12.
because developmentally or dentally developed.
Developmentally. I'm not dentally advanced. So.
Still youngin'.
Yeah, so Luis here, he's giving this guy like a backpack too.
Oh, nice.
Maybe it's his lunchbox.
Well, hopefully it's his medicine.
He could be going garbage pail kid.
It's his anti-rads.
Could be his anti-rads.
Little fallout shelter.
Yep. We do
Yeah.
have some Bethesda guys coming in later for the second group.
Yes.
So
Super
good to see
talented
them.
people from everywhere.
Yes. We got a lot of carving here being done by Lucas.
Nice.
So
Some
once
really
again,
cool
you know,
details.
just doing hard surface with sculpting, you can do as well, and using those H-polish brushes and different masking techniques and polygroups inside of ZBrush will allow you to flush out those forms.
Nice. It's cool that you can decipher exactly what brush he's using from here, because that stuff is
It's
really
too much
important.
usage, just because you sit in front of a computer, I sit in front of ZBrush, and same. You may have other things on your monitor. Mine's just usually.
I have
usually
like
ZBrush.
10 programs up.
Yeah.
Definitely ZBrush, but a bunch of other stuff.
So on to our next set here. This is set 3. So, oh man, Ehsan here is really getting into the carving, so very, very traditional aspects. Finding those shapes and finding those forms and fleshing them out.
Yeah. It's going to be like,
If you've looked up, if you go to his, like, just do a Google search for him, you can see his kind of works that he's already done. And I'm kind of seeing those influences already going to be in his piece. So his final one's probably going to look pretty cool.
yeah, and when he was zooming out there, he was actually just checking the readability of his character's
Yes.
silhouette. It's super important, and if you were sculpting in real life, you'd have to run across the room
Yep.
to be able to like get that perspective. But in ZBrush, you can just kind of zoom out,
Zoom out and
check
it.
out what you're seeing and reading, and then like enhance whatever he really wanted to sell. So I bet you he really wants to sell like that really heavy brow line.
Yeah.
This is not a happy post-apocalyptic
No,
person.
no.
And then this like extended muscle, which
Yeah.
is some really, really cool
Another guy, if you're interested in how they use ZBrush to check silhouettes and stuff, is definitely watch the Disney's presentation.
Oh.
Dylan is
Is that later
excellent.
today?
Yeah, I don't know if it's today. We'll have to look the schedule. I'm not.
Check out the schedule.
or just
There's
message
some
on
Disney
Twitter.
action
Somebody
on
will
there.
reply to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I believe they're presenting. I hope they're presenting. Pretty sure they are.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of people presenting from all over
Yeah,
the
we
place.
have a lot of great presenters this year for the summit. And if you're here in LA, come out and you can witness the presentations live, or you can watch through live stream as you guys are doing now and witness all of them as well. So we have 2 channels going now. The presentations have probably already started since we're 2 hours in here. And Jared's just over here. We got some Predator type stuff going on.
Oh, he did that cool.
He's really a master
tool.
at these insert mesh brushes
Yeah.
too. He definitely just layers this on here, and focuses on all those silhouettes and forms.
Just like instantly adding a degree of complication and interest.
So I was using a curve brush for that part he's working on now, and so this can be worked out in a few different ways. So you can take an object and repeat it along a curve. You can set up a triparts brush, which allows you to establish a brush that has 3 polygroups, and it will take one of the top polygroup and make that the end. It'll take the bottom polygroup and make that the other end, and then it'll repeat the middle. So you can have like a chain that has like a bolt on each end and then repeat the chain in the middle.
Or like a tube with plugs on either
Yes,
end,
on
which is
plugs
what I
on both
think he's
ends.
using here, but
And
I want me that brush right now.
Yes. And another unknown feature is that there's also the ability with insert mesh brushes to replicate or change or cycle through. And you can actually set up a IMM brush that will repeat through multiple IMM brushes. So you can end up creating a vine and have 3 different variations of this vine. And then when you sculpt, it'll cycle through those 3 IMM brushes as you sculpt out.
This
So
is because you play with ZBrush every
This
single
is
day.
true. This
that
is
you're
true.
like, hey,
if you want to
check
see
out
this in
cool
action,
thing.
hit up Twitter and do an Ask ZBrush, and I'll see about making a video.
Yes,
And
please. I specifically want to see like this
yeah.
vine action.
There's a preset in one of the brushes that allows you to do it right now. I can't remember which one it is. It might be just the IMM curve brush, the default one. If you load that up inside of ZBrush and then hit M down at the bottom, there is a vine that's already made.
But
And you
will
can
it
look
cycle through 3 different vines?
I think it is. I
Like
think
one
it's
with
set
a
up
bunch of
for that.
leaves, one
Yes.
with less leaves.
It's got like no leaves, less leaves, and then turns and twists. So it's definitely
super cool.
And that's really quick for creating different assets, like extremely fast. All right, so let's go to our next group here. We got set number 4. Here we got Jesse again, and
Laurent.
no, Joan.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jesse and Joan. Sorry, I was skipping ahead on my screen.
Yes, we're jumping. It's okay. All right, we got tiny text here on one screen and bigger text on another.
Dang, he's already working on like a bunch of costume stuff.
He's really good at this kind of stuff
It's
too.
cool
like,
to
it's
see
very-
like wrinkle manipulation
Yeah.
and like I don't know, like the
You think
the
he's gonna
edges
get a
and
robotic
seams.
arm on the other one because he doesn't have an organic arm on the other side.
Oh well, he's a mutant. Maybe it's just gonna mirror the arm.
I don't know. He would already been working in symmetry probably at this point.
You're right. You're right.
And
I
after
am
there's been a lot
excited.
of Deus Ex stuff floating around.
They're
from-
making a movie, right?
well, just the video game artwork was incredible.
Really? Well, it always is.
Mhm.
Like they
But they had a lot of the machine man type things.
so freaking cool.
definitely influences there possibly used here as well. And then we got some joints over here. It looks like almost like working joints for the
Oh,
robotic
nice.
nature. Yeah.
I always love how robotics can mimic actual like human anatomy because obviously, you know, an elbow joint works like an elbow and it only rotates in that one axis, and then he's got like a ball joint up in the shoulder. Some really, really smart stuff, and it lends a lot of believability of movement.
That's right.
the
Yeah,
character?
it does totally. And it's bringing it back to reality, which you can kind of connect to. It's really interesting. Another thing here between these two guys, you can look to see how much they've customized their interfaces. So we have Jesse here, and his interface is totally customized. And any of the interface stuff inside of ZBrush can be moved around, and you can create your own custom UIs. You can change the coloring. Like if we go back to Ara, you'll see his is a totally different color, and he's got stuff everywhere as well. So a lot of the guys have been using it for a while. You know, if you don't like where this button is, well, you can enable customization and move it to where you want. So another really handy feature inside of ZBrush
That's really cool.
that allows you to make ZBrush yours and kind of own it. Got
I
some-
like how he's defining like the edges and forms to really bring
Yeah.
in that sort of
And he's using one of the curve
molded
brushes
fairing.
here too. Yeah, you can see.
yeah.
that.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. We got too many screens. Too many screens.
Oh, I'm watching the robot. He's watching the organic. All right.
Back and forth.
Do you think he's adding like circuitry? This is very Shadowrun
Oh,
style,
yeah,
actually, like
yeah.
integration of circuitry into people. I play a lot of tabletop RPGs in my spare time, so
Always a good time.
that's a great post-apocalyptic sort of like future punk. What is it called when it's like
Future punk. I think that's correct. There's a bunch of different
yeah,
terminology.
cyberpunk. Sorry,
Cyberpunk,
that's
future
the
punk.
actual word for it. Oh, nice. And see, it's like such a simple detail that Jesse's adding, right? That's Jesse on the...
Yes, that is
Okay.
Jesse.
No, because it's just a little simple detail, but by adding it as a separate subtool, it adds like such a nice level of complication.
Well, as you're
to the
going back to like
character.
we were talking about the costuming and the layering, you know,
Yeah.
it's definitely that transition. It's giving you that really clean transition between the two. And also adding that, breaking up the silhouette and design so you have rest points on your model and then areas to focus with that detail.
Super smart.
Definitely key elements in sculpting.
Good design.
Good design.
There's a lot of good design, a lot of good different design, seeing how everybody's creating different stuff.
All right, so let's go set 5. Oh, whoa.
Holy
whoa.
smacks.
Laurent's kind of crazy. Look at this hatch work he's got going on here.
So do you think he's using...
I
no,
think he's doing
just
this by
doing it by hand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like I'll set up a brush to sort of do like a stitch or like a wrinkle seam,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I believe he's doing this by hand just so he can go in and design exactly
Well,
what
this
he
could be
wants.
from the Blizzard influence. A lot of hand painting and
We do a lot of stuff by hand, yes. Laurent, one thing you'll notice with a lot of his art pieces is he loves spiral swirly stuff. So almost every single
everything's
piece
got
you'll
a
see,
spiral swirly.
it'll be somewhere. It's not necessarily going to be like the main focus and feature. Like this is just a detail work on the neck piece of the character.
Well, Blizzard's been known for a while for hiding different elements in their artworks, like pandas.
I wonder
and-
how many
yeah,
spirals he's hidden in
Yeah.
stuff that he's worked on.
Could be hidden.
Although, never mind. I can't talk. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Don't
Let's
say
look at this
nothing.
robot. So it's definitely like an alien character, right? Because
Yes.
it's got like an exaggerated skull
mhm.
shape, but still some anatomy that you can recognize with the pec plates.
Yeah, and so he's gone through the sculpting version
Riblets.
of hard surface here, fleshing out those forms and just describing the details here. You'll see a lot of them. We allowed the contestants to create custom brushes and bring them with them if they wanted them.
Mhm.
They've also been using a lot of brush packs that are very familiar with the ZBrush community. So there's a whole set of brush packs, orb brush packs, that are
Oh yeah.
insanely popular. They give some excellent stuff. The Orbs crack brush is amazing.
I use that.
And you can, I think they're up, you can go find them on Gumroad. I think you can go
Oh,
buy
yeah?
them.
Nice.
So if you do a Google search for Orb crack brush, grab those. I think Michael.
Wait, is that Michael Vicente? Oh,
yes,
he's
I
going to
should know
be
his
speaking
name.
tomorrow. Like, I got to hear a little bit about what he's talking about.
Aha.
He is a badass. Excellent environment guy, actually. Like, over on the Heroes team for Blizzard Entertainment.
Nice.
He makes a lot of good brushes and does demos at work every now and then. I'm certain he does a lot of stuff online, too.
He does, yes. And they're doing contests now too for monster stuff as well. So there's always ZBrush contests somewhere. You can
Yeah.
always find them.
Yes.
So if you use the S software and you want to try to win some contests,
Some cool prizes.
yeah, to buy the Keyshot Bridge,
Ooh.
yeah. Enter some of those.
So they'll be using Keyshot to submit their final images.
They
of
can
these
use whatever they
characters?
want, so
Oh,
it's not a requirement. They all have all the machines they have the ZBrush to Keyshot Bridge and Keyshot Pro installed.
Nice.
Keyshot is one of our sponsors here, along with Form Labs, Wacom, the Good Smile Company, and we're totally just like hiding up sponsors here with our names here. We've probably been doing this for a while. There we go.
Oh, hey. Good.
There we go. We're Group 1
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Group 1 overall.
overall.
I thought we were grouping these guys by no. No, okay.
It's too late now.
This is Group 5 of Group 1.
We're in it. We're in it to win it. All right, so let's go to set 6 here, and then we'll go to the overlay and see where everybody has been left off. Uh-oh, we got duplication quick.
No, he has like he's doing a duplication sort of to repeat some of the forms, but to lengthen out the torso, I guess. This is a smart move because
Yeah.
form repetition is
This
like
is correct, yeah.
super
repeat that
cool.
bolt, repeat that structure. All right, so we'll come back to the group and we'll see where they're at.
Oh yeah.
Chris Patterson
Ooh.
here is still manipulating here. We got
You're right. It
is-
was some
it's
James Bond
yeah,
action.
Some James Bond stuff here.
Like this guy, I don't want to meet him in a dark alley.
No.
He can keep his apocalypse. I'm hiding in a bunker.
Razor sharp teeth. And then we got Mike Jensen over here.
Oh.
He's docked some of his palettes onto the side here too, so you can. There's a whole nother little palette you can open up on the left-hand side of your ZBrush screen. You can store palettes over there as well. You can also hotkey to palettes, which will allow you to press the hotkey and have it activate as a pop-up, so you can make them pop-up menus
so
as well.
smart.
So So if you've never done that, you can take your transform palette or make your own custom one and just bind that palette to a hotkey. When you click that hotkey, it's going to pop up. Maybe a little custom pop-up window.
Speed up your workflow.
Exactly.
However you want. So his robot, it's like super stylized
Man, it's
with
super
the claw.
clean too
Like,
already.
This is really cool.
You guys are going to have trouble picking the winner here.
Yeah. It's up to you guys.
And this
I'm
is only
glad
the first group. You got a whole nother 12 to choose from.
Yeah. We like making choices difficult. That's why we brought in basically all amazing artists.
Amazing artists, so.
Just really cool to see just the vast variety of approaches.
And we are down now to just under 2 hours. Just under. So two more hours of ZBrush Sculpt-Off is going to be coming at you.
Yep. 1/3 of the way through.
1/3 of the way.
And these guys are already killing it.
Yeah, it looks. I think most of them are going to finish ahead of time.
Yeah, like there's no question about what they're making anymore.
No,
you know, like
no.
last year I was like, oh,
What
hey,
is it gonna
what's
be?
this gonna
What is it
be?
gonna
Because
be?
like the animal theme wasn't playing, and I was just like trying to guess as best I could.
I remember we had a lot of guesses for. I brought up fiddleheads. All sorts of randomness. Well,
Yeah.
looks like that kind of vine.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it could be. But this, it's like super duper clear. Is it because it's a bust and it's a post-apocalyptic theme, so there's like focus that's intentional?
Yeah.
you
Well,
see?
we've had a lot of great, just things in the industries for this stuff too, like Mad Max. You know.
Oh man, Wasteland Weekend was just this last
Was it?
weekend.
Okay.
So a lot of people went out into the middle of the desert and the heat and dressed up like they were from Mad Max.
Always good times. All right, so let's go to the overviews of our cameras here quick, and then we'll go back to the hard surface and them. So here we go again, coming from the Nomen campus. Here's the Sculpt-Off lab here for the ZBrush Sculpt-Off 2016. If you're just joining us, we have Group 1 here, which consists of 12 contestants. So we have 6 hard surface contestants and 6 organic contestants. They're battling here for 3 hours. And we have Group 1 now. Group 2 will start at 4 p.m. Pacific time with our current champions, Furio and Eric Sosa. We are the winners here of the contest. We'll have 2, one for the hard surface and one for the organic. And our sponsors for these prizes are Form Labs, which are giving away a Form 2 to each of the categories. Then we also have our sponsors of Keyshot and Wacom, which have supplied the rendering program here of Keyshot and also the tablets from Wacom that the contestants are using, along with the Cintiqs.
Nice.
And I don't think most of our artists who use ZBrush end up using Wacom products. So
Well, you want that direct
and the,
pen-on sculpt
and
sort
the
of
pressure
feel.
sensitivity and everything
Yep.
else. It just brings that kind of traditional feel to the digital form. It's very nice.
I was unaware that there existed another product to use. Like-
There's some. I can't name them, but there are some. Also want to thank Good Smile, Kotobukiya, and Funko. They supplied some other great prizes for our contestants here, and then also 3D for Medical. So thank you to all our sponsors for helping out and sponsoring the ZBrush Summit Sculpt-Off for this year. All right, so we can go to the organic here and we hit it.
yeah.
And then we may do we'll probably do a break at 1:30.
Okay. Like at a halfway point?
Yeah, at a halfway point.
Smart.
Grab some coffee. Get that all going.
Check out our organic guys. Now this is like where true artistry comes into play. Like these guys are focusing on some really sweet details to sell this vicious future.
And you see there are a lot of subtool usage here, so you can see some of these guys have just part of their pieces in view right now. So to do this inside ZBrush, you could activate just solo mode, and this will just isolate that part you're working on. And you can also just change any of the visibility of the models. So it allows you to just come in and focus on different parts. You can also use, focus on individual parts on the individual subtool as well to allow you to get really close. So if you want to sculpt the back of the eyes or something like that, you can isolate just that area on your mesh.
If you had like a see-through skull and you cared about the back of the eye?
Yes, exactly. Well, there is some good tricks for using sculpting stuff. So for wrinkles,
Yeah.
it's beneficial to say, take your model, you cut off just the front of it, so you just
Yeah.
have the front face, and then you can flip the polygons on your mesh, and so
Yeah.
your mesh looks inverted now, and you can go back in and pinch all those wrinkles on the back side.
You are
And it
sharing
bumps
some knowledge.
up, yeah, it bumps out those details and makes those wrinkles really feel tight.
Dang, son.
So yeah, so it definitely helps to see the back of the face.
If you use that technique in the next 24 hours, please Twitter. Get on Twitter. Hashtag ZBrush Summit. And
ZBrush
like,
Summit, ask ZBrush.
show us a screenshot.
Yeah,
I just want to
we
see
can
that
go-
in
yeah, we can demo
action
it.
right now. Instead, I'm watching all these guys do some really cool stuff. Actually, I kind of hope
Well,
one
one
of
guy
these
one guy
uses
that does
here.
that does that process is Cesar Driscoll Jr.
Is he going to be here today, or is he going
I
to
don't know if he's gonna be out.
talking
but,
or
he has. I'm pretty sure he
attending?
has a video that shows that process as well. So you can Google search him, and he does.
Cesar.
Yeah, he does a lot of wrinkle sculpting. Excellent sculptor and digital sculptor. So he definitely has that technique already recorded. So if you want to, if you
nice.
if you don't want to wait for me to show it to you, he has that. So
I just want to try all this stuff. Actually, watching these guys is really inspiring. I want to be in ZBrush following along.
well, I gave you a computer.
I do have
We
a
don't have it. We may have it. It may be installed on that login.
Don't tease me, bruh.
Sadly, I don't think they'll let us contend. I tried. It's like I
We just steal everybody's
Yeah.
base mesh and sort
Yes.
of like glom it together and be like, it's the beast.
So Luis up at the top, he has used the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge, and he has his model inside of Keyshot now.
Nice.
And one thing nice about this is that as you're working in ZBrush, you can just send your model to Keyshot to check it out at a different angle, check it in the
Mhm.
lighting. Then you go back into ZBrush, refine those forms, make those changes, and just shoot it back over. So it's another view, as you were talking about with traditional sculpting, you know,
Yeah.
just stepping back and
Well, it's also like he gets to see exactly what his final image, the image that everybody's going to be voting on, is going to look like. And so he can sculpt for maximum effect.
Mhm,
And that's
mhm.
actually really smart. That's how we do it in cinematics. Like working in
excellent
movies,
point.
you're
Excellent
working
point.
to the frame, to the camera. Like the back of the character, if you're not going to see the back of the character, doesn't matter. Like spend your time on the stuff that you're going to be getting all close up.
Transformers is a good example of that too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I saw some breakdowns, and it's a lot of camera positioning
Heck
for
yeah.
the
Oh, I don't blame
transformations.
them. Those things were so complicated
Yes,
that
exactly.
it's like, just make it work
Mhm.
on screen and throw away anything that doesn't.
Now, Jared has participated in one of our Sculpt-Offs before, and we had that Sculpt-Off required the model to be 3D printed when it was completed.
That's just so
talking,
cool.
yeah, so not only it wasn't just camera dependent, they didn't
Yep.
have the luxury of just a single angle.
Yeah.
It was 360.
And it's
so-
also like, this is going to be permanent.
yes.
It's not like, oh, I'm just going to forget that digital file. No, this is now in the real world where people
Yes,
can touch
exactly.
and judge.
And judge, yes. So no smoke and mirrors on those. It was pretty much, this is what your
Wow.
model looks like.
That's really cool. And in fact, like once whoever wins can then use their 3D printer to print up
Exactly,
their
yes.
winning
Or-
masterpiece.
Yeah, out of the form too, right in resin.
It's so cool.
So let's go on to the hard surface guys.
I just really appreciate the overlap that our hard surface and our organic guys, like they're both using techniques from the other side, you know?
Yes.
Like no
Blending
one's
them
doing
together,
100%. I think it's very successful.
It is. Yeah, we talked about customizing UI. There's Ara's screen there. You can see the tints of blue
Ooh.
in his.
And also the much lighter gray background.
Yes, lighter gray background.
I wonder if that's easier on the eyes. It's easy on my eyes.
I don't know. There's been debates. I think coders would have some opinions on that for white text on black background versus black text on white background.
No, that's true. My area at work is like a cave, kind of like the lab
We
here.
don't see sun a lot.
No,
None
not
of
at
us
all.
do. This is how I keep my boyish looks.
That's true. No UV damage. It's
No
all
UV
good.
damage. That's right.
It's good for us gingers. But yeah, like being able to modify the screen though to like whatever you need it. Like I definitely like using neutral grays because I don't want any sort of color influence on what I end up creating. Because I do a lot of like the rough texture pass in ZBrush also, and keeping things neutral. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a good point on the texturing stuff too. I'll be interested to see if any of the contestants here like start painting their model with poly paint or start
Oh.
using texture. Because right now we're pretty much in just the sculptural aspects of
Which
it.
is the most important aspect,
Yes.
to be honest. Because like a really cool like ambient occlusion, gray shaded sculpt
Mhm.
with like a splash of color,
But if you're going for final image, I mean, what do you think's going to win? You think
Actually,
you're going to
I'm
full
not
out color?
everybody voting. People voting
Yeah,
are
this is
going to be
true.
looking at all different things. I'm excited to see what people prioritize because I think that's the real point. It's like, what do they think is important, and it represents them as an artist. Some really cool stuff on this hard surface side.
Yeah, you can see some of them now switching through their custom IMM brushes, so different ones they have created with different parts. Yeah, Jared's got he's gone into micro details now up there.
Yeah.
In the upper right.
It reminds me of like the wishes that you tie onto trees.
Oh, yeah.
These are good luck charms for his robot. Good lucks so that you vote for him. And then bottom middle, we saw him duplicating the torso of his character.
Yeah, to get those repeating
drawing
shapes.
that down.
And
Well, now
drawing
see
out.
how he's transformed that torso. So it's keeping some of the detail that he had sculpted in the torso, but changed the overall silhouette. So a lot of his work carries over into the new shape down there, but is completely different. Like, you wouldn't know that they came from the same
The same
object.
mesh, yeah. And that's another nice thing, just using like duplication functionalities and then just grabbing a large move brush and dragging it across. Or another thing I'll do a lot of is, say, take like the standard brush, use that drag rectangle, and get a alpha with a fall off. Now when you drag this across your mesh, it'll deform the mesh, but it's going to keep all those sculptural details.
It's so smart to actually keep all your subdivision levels, though, because like sometimes you delete that stuff off, but no, I like actually having as much of it as possible.
Yeah.
Because like
Definitely for those big changes and stuff. It makes a
yeah,
lot of
like
sense.
pretend you made a face
Mhm.
and you kind of got sort of far on like your forms, but this silhouette is it's in need of love.
Yes.
Having
yes.
that like subdivision, you can make some massive changes. Plastic surgery for cheap. Keep your details.
And not have to lose all of it.
Yeah, you don't lose all your work.
You can also project, which is another nice thing, and ZBrush
Ooh.
is another amazing
Yep.
thing for taking a Dynamesh model and getting those low polygon version of it back.
Every
And then
day.
divide it back up and
Yep.
project back on.
I use that stuff all the time. I actually really enjoy the Z-Remesher line tool, so you can like kind of draw out where you want your topology.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me an eye loop. That's all I care
Just
about.
want that one.
Just one eye loop.
Trim and clipping happening down here
Ooh.
at the bottom.
So smart for that hard surface. Getting that super clean.
Very interesting stuff. Man, Jared's is looking crazy now. Look at those just levels of layering and detailing.
Yep.
You think he's going to have glowy bits?
Can he have glowy bits?
He can have glowy bits. I'd have glowy bits.
Are you influencing his sculpt? Can he hear us?
I don't think so. He might be able to. He's headphoneless right now.
Oh, we're talking about him. No pressure.
No pressure. All right, do you want to go to the sets? Let's go back to our sets here. Get the right things going. So here is set one again. Once again, we have organic on the left side and hard surface on the right. And we're going to go through all the contestants here for group 1. So 6 hard surface and 6 organic. So here we have our first set here. So we have Glauco and Ara. This is just going to give you a little bit bigger view of them in action.
And maybe you can kind of zoom in and make this full screen and see all the tools they're using. Check out how many sub tools they're using, because like there's a lot of layers
There's a lot
here
of
in
layers.
Glauco's.
Yeah. Man, that's looking good though.
It's really cool. I like the pointed form of like the crown and how it's repeated in like the cheekbone and then down on the shoulder. That would be some sweet armor to actually print up and wear for Halloween.
This would be a good thing.
Or just print up all of it. No pressure. Just do it. Make that real. That's really, really
No
cool.
more bluff for you. Print it out.
So you can actually print in clay now.
Yes, I saw that. And you know about this. You know.
Yeah. So
So how do we talk about this?
Adam Bean made a CX5 filament. So it's kind of a plastic clay type thing. And with certain settings on your 3D printer, you can actually print in clay. And then because you're printing straight into clay, you can then alter your sculpt. So like the striations you get from printing, you can immediately like smooth that stuff out. Or you can add an additional level of detail, which
That's
is great
amazing.
for those like figurative sculptors who are doing the collectibles and whatnot. Because the end result, they have to deliver a physical sculpt, right? But being able to like rapidly prototype your silhouettes, your shapes, your proportions in digital, land and also the pose. Can you imagine your art director, like, you finish sculpting, you're like 9/10 of the way there, and they're
That's
like,
right,
I
now I
want to
wanna
change
add
the
this.
pose.
Yep.
And it's just like, son of a like, it's
Yeah, it's
really
one thing
cool.
with I really like that whole the growth of technology like that.
For
he had
reals.
it on Kickstarter, correct? For
Yes,
that, yeah,
yep.
I kickstarted.
And I just really enjoy that ZBrush and printing is influencing traditional sculpture, but
Yeah.
not
Well, we also have the
eliminating
scanning avenue
it.
too. Yeah, and
Yep.
it's all just becoming harmonious
Yep.
together and just
No, it's all about making
See,
art.
make make it in digital, print it out in clay, modify it there, 3D scan it back, throw it back in ZBrush,
Yep.
modify it
Yep.
there.
I
Never-ending
actually would
process.
never leave my house if I had a 3D printer and all this clay. Like, I would just make cool every single day.
We're taking donations for Jessica's 3D printer.
No, I won't. No. I mean,
Because I want to see what you do with
I
one.
would love to. All right, maybe I need to enter the competition.
Next year, you're going to be like, nope, I can't help
I'll
you
be
this
like,
year.
I'll
I'm
host from my
entering."
desk.
Yeah.
Look at how awesome I am. Sculpting the things. Vote for me.
Vote for me. All right, we're going to set 2 now. Here we have Luis and Lucas Hug.
I really love the integration of the mini face on the
man,
twisted
look, he's got that
overall
backpack
face.
already done too.
Oh yeah, and so it's got tubes leading into his mini face, his little parasitic.
Little mini face.
This is so perfect for Halloween. It's
Oh,
already
yes,
Halloween
yes.
season, by the way.
It is. I'm kind of prepared this year. I've got,
Really?
me and my little ones are going to be Ghostbusters this year. So I've been kit bashing proton packs.
Oh my goodness! Are you doing any of the tech that was invented for the most recent movie, like
We've
the
got-
punch or the like?
I should do one of them. I did not.
You should do the little hand one.
We have gone mostly back to the originals.
No, and that's allowed. In fact, like, all of that stuff was what made the most recent movie really fun. It's because it harkened back to the original.
Yeah, here.
Classic.
You can't see this, but I'm showing Jessica one of the proton packs here.
So we didn't realize, but Joseph is a badass at fabrication.
I just stick stuff together.
I think he had a sacrificial computer because there's some really cool
Oh, there's a
pieces
lot
in
of
here.
stuff. I've been collecting junk for ages, and then eventually my wife kicked me out of the house and told me to go live in a garage.
She's like, clean it up.
She's like, this cannot live here anymore. So I have a studio space where
It's
all
really
my
smart.
randomness lives, and it's where I get to kit bash all these. So I've made 3 proton packs. The proton
Do they
packs are
all
done.
look the same? Or
No, they're all different.
They're all
so
unique to each of your kids?
This is correct. For
Are they
for a weight
kid-sized?
difference.
Like baby,
They
for baby
are.
ghosts?
Yes, yes. Oh, and this is another one. Jessica's seeing.
He's
I-
showing me all of his like real world creations.
Yeah, so I do a lot of not just digital, but we also go to the traditional aspects. If you want to see these, you can check out my Instagram account.
Oh, are these on your Instagram? Am
They
I
are on
following
Instagram.
your Instagram?
I don't know. You may not. I follow you.
Hold on. Let me just make sure. I've got my phone up. I'm kind of tweeting, like mini tweeting. You can tweet at me if you want. I'll check it once in a while.
Yeah, so they're on there. Yeah, so I made mini
Oh,
ones and large
I
ones.
am
and
following you. Okay. I'm not a
Instagram
complete
changed
jerk.
their setting stuff. So
And
it's
you
all-
have a picture of me taking video footage of our cool camera
That's right.
setup.
We're nerding it up. Nerding
Oh
it up.
yeah. Super nerds.
All right, we're going to jump to our next set here as we continue our banter. Let's give you guys another screen here. So we have Ehsan and Jared. So Jared, you can now see those details he's been flushing in here. Really, really powerful stuff.
Holy sh. Now, I think the texture is going to be extremely important, or at least his like color block out,
Yeah.
so that he can really kind of bring together the harmony of how complex his character is.
It'll be interesting to see how many subtools he's working to. Our screens, we got tiny screens up here, but sure he's using a ton of them. So
Infinity subtools.
infinity subtools. And man, look, you can just see the traditional stuff that Ehsan's doing here now. Like just blocking all the muscle shapes and forms. It's very, very cool.
I love sculpting anatomy. You don't actually get to do it very often in games or in movies or anything. Like, you don't get those traditional. They're like, we have actors for that, right? But I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it done well.
I usually cover it up in military gear.
You're like, you'll get to see some really cool neck muscles and then armor.
I'm just going to have,
So rad.
molly strapping, everything else. Yeah, so I got to finish the wands. That's the only thing left for my proton packs.
You guys are going to
I made
have
traps.
the coolest Halloween. How are you going to keep this up? How are you going to top
I don't
next
know.
year
I
for
think
your children?
this is an issue. Last year we did the Cybermen. This year I wasn't planning on doing it.
Until you were... It's always the curse, right? Like, because you can make something cool, and then Halloween gets a little bit closer, and then you're just like,
I'm on top
what
of it
should
this
I
year,
make?
though, too, which is good. I actually got it started early.
Because you're a professional now.
No, I wouldn't
You're
call
a professional kid costumer. Your kids are basically going to be the coolest. All of their friends are going to be jealous. Now, have you actually printed something out for your kids to wear as like a costume? Or
Not
like a
yet,
little
because
piece?
getting them to stand still is still an issue.
Oh, so you'd have to like scan them.
Well,
to get
I'd
it
have
to
to
fit.
mold them or scan them. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I haven't gone that route yet.
Time to wait until they have a cold and are on NyQuil,
That's right.
and then just like put their like
While they're
limp
asleep, just
sleeping
sneak in
forms.
there.
Yeah.
Take some photos.
Yep. Dude, you've even painted your props. So good.
Decals.
It-
Trickeries and decals. I can
No,
print.
it's-
I can make stuff in Photoshop. and
Everything is
Illustrator
either
for them.
time or money, right?
It's all
to do something
time.
well,
It's
it's
all
like time or
time,
money. And yeah.
That's you know, if you want to know how you get to this level inside of ZBrush, it's just practice.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And all these guys, I mean, they did not start out,
Awesome.
Well, some of them did.
Came in with their traditional background and are
Yeah.
like, oh, look
you
at
just
this
were
masterpiece.
born awesome. But these guys work at it, and that's one thing with a lot of the artists that use ZBrush, the ones that you will see all these powerful images from. It's definitely a work and a dedication. And one thing I can't stress enough is a thing that one of our ZBrush artists, Danny Williams, always teaches is, doing like the lunch crunches and just sculpting. So just taking a day, every part of your day,
Yeah.
and sculpting something.
Have you been seeing like Fausto and Jonathan Berube and all of them doing their like lunch
I have not.
sculpts?
No.
All right, so some of my friends are working on cool films that I probably can't say,
Mm-hmm.
and every single lunch they're doing that.
Yeah,
They're doing
and
that
it's
lunch
perfect.
crunch, and
It's
it's
perfect.
like, they're probably eating at their desks, and 30 minutes they're just trying to get something
done. Yeah.
And it builds proficiency. You want to knock in those like 10,000 hours to gain mastery over something.
Exactly. And when there's an ZBrush Olympics, you can then enter it.
One day.
One day
the
with
world
ZBrush
will be so
Olympics.
cool.
Hey, it's
Well,
all going to esports. This
no,
could be it.
I was going to say that. It's so true. Like, esports are on sport networks now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a matter of time. Did you know that actually there used to be a sculpting and music competition for the actual Olympics?
Really?
People would compose
Really?
music, and it
Huh.
would be judged. No, this is like 1920. This is pre-World War II.
Mhm,
But, like, there were pieces of art
This is when they had like
made for the Olympics,
for
and
the
they
Winter
were
Olympics.
judged.
They had like trick skiing,
Trick ski.
where it was like freeform skiing. Like you had
So
skis
cool.
on and you're doing flips with skis. I don't
Next
know why they took
Summer
that away.
Olympics is going to be amazing, though. There's going to be surfing and rock climbing, two sports that I
Ooh.
love.
I need to get back to rock climbing.
Yes, you do.
I have dissipated in the climbing.
How are your calluses?
Go on right now. It's not good.
My hands are really soft, too.
It's not good. It's
I
not good.
opted to sculpt instead of climb this week. I've been in crunch because of BlizzCon, and so it's been sculpting instead of
Yes.
working out.
My local gym has changed its hours. I just haven't got back to the early sessions. So I'm gonna hopefully after the summit, after all this is done, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
back to not doing leg day.
Climbing every day is leg day for climbing.
It is. There's a lot of balance.
How much cave stuff are you doing?
I do mostly cave. I do mostly bouldering.
Okay.
So
No, I'm a boulderer as well,
A
actually.
boulderer.
But like most ladies, because we lack the upper body strength in general, tend to concentrate on legs and technique.
hey, it doesn't matter. It's I think there's no gender difference in climbing.
When you're starting out, most guys have more upper body strength, so they'll tend to like campus everything.
can
They're like,
campus
screw
everything.
legs, who needs them? Bruh. And then their hands end up bloody and broken. So
We only need one tendon rip for
Yeah.
that. If you got your legs on, you're good.
yeah. But then, it equalizes out because climbing is just,
It's full body for sure.
it's so cool.
And surprisingly, a lot of ZBrush artists, I think, are climbers as well.
A lot of geeky people, actually,
Yes.
is what I've found, because
Because
it
it's
sort
this
of
is the
lends
cave aspect.
No,
No?
it's the mini level up. You've got your
Oh,
overall
this is-
advancement,
I like this. I like
and then
this.
your quests.
All
Each
right,
little
one.
climb.
I've never thought of it like this. So it's
No,
totally it.
it's like a game, because each climb is a way you gain experience to
Mhm.
level up overall in the level of difficulty of climb that you can do. And so like all my programmer friends are climbers.
Yeah, I have a
also.
lot of programmer friends that are all climbers as well.
Yep. Chunk of people that I work with at Blizzard, all climbers.
Excellent. Excellent.
Geeky sport. And it's going to be in the Olympics. Yeah.
So here we got Laurent here. You guys been watching Laurent and David Martinez here.
Oh, dude, he's doing like this skull hat. What?
It's going through his eyes.
Oh, dude. High concept. I dig it.
Yeah. We're almost to our 1 hour 30 mark, so we're going to switch to our last set here, as you've been listening to us banter back and forth.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, I'm not.
Sorry, not sorry.
So we got Chris Patterson and Mike Jensen.
So cool. I'm
So
impressed.
clean.
I know.
So
Like
clean.
their workflow is just stellar.
I love the combination of the cloth and the hard surface stuff. I'm really interested in what Chris is going to do for his rest of his stuff here. He's been working on this mandible for a while here.
Well, it's going to be probably in frame as like the focus thing.
Yeah.
Now, how many of these characters, once they've finished with their symmetry, do you think they'll pose them asymmetrically?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because that's like one of the best things about ZBrush is you can work symmetry for
To a certain
huge
point,
chunk of
and
time.
then switch over.
And then you can, use the posing tools.
I know some of our contestants that'll be here for group 2, they do a lot of figure sculpting. So like Joe
Ooh.
Mena and Eric Sosa.
Joe Mena,
And
who I've only met online.
Really?
And we'll get to meet him in
He
person
will be
today.
here.
Yeah.
4 p.m. We will have those 2 here. And Joe was telling me yesterday that he hardly ever uses symmetry. He's entirely poses it and then sculpts it.
Damn.
So it's just the different techniques for things.
So he basically is like, I want to do ZBrush on hard mode.
Well, sometimes I think there's benefits to both. I mean,
Yes.
a lot of things is definitely, if you're worried about those muscle structures and forms, when you go into a pose, you're going to have to modify them anyway.
Well,
Especially if you had them symmetrical.
everybody who does work symmetrically then does a pass where
Yeah.
they try to break symmetry on their character.
mhm.
In video games and movies, all of that. Like, you don't want anything to look perfectly symmetrical because
Exactly.
it
Because we aren't
removes
symmetrical.
believability. So it's just like, I'm going to work symmetrical to a point and then turn it off
Yeah.
and change it up. Super smart.
All right, let's go back to our main groups here, and then we're going to probably do a little break here. Oh, man, we got color.
Dang, these
Glauco
guys are
is
not
into
messing around.
materials and painting already.
Oh, it's going to be gold? Now it really is like king of the apocalypse.
Mhm. It'd be interesting to see the Sculpt-Off in like a race format, like as like a marathon. Like, where would each of these contestants be in that race?
Well, then you'd actually have to understand what people on the internet are looking for. Like all of the people that are viewing this, all the people that are going to be voting on this. You have to know like what they want. There's no like numerical way to evaluate art.
It's true. What if we have them? But with that, next year Sculpt-Off, laptop strapped to them and make them run a mile, and also sculpt. At
Or
the
like
same
on
time.
the bicycle that like powers their computer.
Yes, and if they stop, they lose computing power, and that's the end of it.
Gilligan's Island.
This sounds like an
ZBrush.
extra, yeah, Ninja Warrior ZBrush, yeah.
I, for one, would watch the out of Ninja Warrior ZBrush.
Hey, this could go to the Olympics. I like this bike
Olympic
idea you got
ZBrush.
here.
Yeah.
Keep pedaling and sculpt.
It's like I really need to work on my power consumption so that I
Yeah.
can maintain like
What do you think? What would they win? Like, we'd have to do something different than a belt.
a bicycle powered printer.
Yeah, if you want to print, you got a bike.
So you're biking just to heat up the filament. God, it's ridiculous.
Oh, just.
Well, I think they'd win a medal and the pride of their country.
We may push for this for next year. This would be interesting.
Mhm.
We may have to shorten our contestant list. Because I don't know, we may get some more people like, yeah, I'm not riding the bike and sculpting at the same time.
But it definitely would people would have to min-max either the biking or the sculpting aspect, or being very judicious of how they used the power.
Like if they have Keyshot and ZBrush up and they got the core set on
Or
both,
every day
you're gonna
is
have to be
legs
pedaling
day.
really fast. Yeah, every day leg day. That's right.
Squats and ZBrush.
All right, so we're gonna head to our hard surface guys here.
It's getting so complex
It
with
is.
the mini robotic details. Joints and pistons and tubes.
All sorts of different parts.
So cool. You know, like hard surface guys have to have a really good like engineering sort of background to what they do, because they need to not just understand how to make something cool, they have to make it believable for how it would work.
Yeah, it's like they say the same thing about, we're talking about human anatomy as well. Like, everyone knows what a person looks like,
Yep.
right?
So you better get it right.
So you better get it right. But if you do like a ghost,
Yeah.
you have a little more, I mean, not to say it's
Oh no.
not difficult to do an excellent creature,
No,
because
'cause
you
you
just want
have
to
to
bring in
know.
all the anatomy and
Yeah.
stuff like that too. Yeah.
Knowledge of anatomy is always important, especially when you're going to break the rules to create something different.
Exactly, that's an excellent
But
point.
if you do break the rules and create something different, then you have a little bit more leeway to not, did I put the striatus correct? And I call those riblets, by the way. Like, I have my own anatomy names for stuff. I'm like, oh, it's the riblet.
the riblets.
Yeah, they're the little tiny ones.
Isn't that the thing that McDonald's does every once in a while? the
The
McRiblets.
McRib. Instead of nuggets, it's like little ribs. Riblets, McRiblets.
The McRiblets. All right, so we're going to go to our overview cams here, and we're going to take a short little break here. If you guys have been watching constantly for the entire set here, we're going to zoom back to our group shot here. We're going to take a quick break here, me and Jessica, and then we'll be back. So we'll do a word from our sponsors quick, and then we'll get on to that here. So once again, I am Joseph Drust, and this is
Jessica Drew.
And you're here for the ZBrush Summit Live Sculpt-Off 2016. We have 12
Wonderfully talented.
contestants, amazing artists, currently battling it out here. We have a total of 24 for 2 categories, hard surface and organic.
Yep.
Their contest topic is post-apocalyptic. And they had 3 hours, start to finish, to compete here. We have less than an hour and 30 minutes left.
Yep, so we're at the halfway point.
Halfway point. Winners of this get these
Ooh.
crazy belts here and
Can
become
you imagine?
the ZBrush champion.
Yeah. I would have this over my desk at work, and so if like my boss came by and been like,
And he asks you something to do, you just
whatever,
like,
you'd be like, please address me as ZBrush champion
right.
so-and-so. Yeah.
We have our defending champions coming up next at Group 2, so stay tuned to this if you want to see those. So our current champions for hard surface is Furio, and then organic is Eric Sosa. And our sponsors this year for the Sculpt-Off are Form Labs. They have contributed this Form 2s here for the winner. It's an amazing printer.
Yep.
I personally have been loving the one that I have, and I print stuff all the time to it.
It's going to be such a good prize.
30 robots in a month.
30 robots?
31 robots I made and printed out all in a month.
You're hardcore.
Month of March of robots. We also have Keyshot as our other sponsor. They have supplied the Keyshot Pro on all our computers to use with the ZBrush to Keyshot Bridge, which a lot of our contestants are going to take advantage of here during their Sculpt-Off.
Yep.
We also want to thank Wacom for the tablets and Cintiqs that our contestants are using. And also Kotobukiya, Good Smile, Funko, and 3D4 Medical. So some of our other excellent prizes here have been donated by them. And these Funko ones are pretty awesome. These are prototypes for some of the Funko models. So some of our contestants are going to be taking home these.
Yeah, you're going to need to print or have something like this for your costumes.
That's correct. A little mini Stay Puft. All right, so we will be back. We're going to leave you now with the overview shot here, and we will return shortly and catch you up on where everybody is at. So stay tuned.